Last week, I focused on character and creature design. Oh. Well, okay. So, that first Wonderegg priority episode analysis got taken down by Nippon Television Network, and so it channeled out of the strike. And from my experiences, that isn't a great thing to fight, nor is it really that possible for me to win, considering I'm a small channel. So I'm just going to let that one go. I've already talked about some of my thoughts on a discussion post, and well, it sucks. But that isn't going to stop me from still making videos. I'll try a very different kind of editing style for this episode 2 analysis, and so if it feels and looks different, it's because I don't want my channel to get nuked out of orbit. But yeah, so that's what I'm dealing with. The main strength of this show for me so far is its reluctance to give exposition and over-explain the world. I don't think Wonderegg Priority is overtly confusing at all. To start, I want to think about the eggs themselves and what we can surmise these people are from what they told us. The first hints were given by Kurumi during episode 1. Kurumi has just been hatched by Ai in the bathroom and explains to see no evils and some rules of the dream. Kurumi seems very knowledgeable about this dream world, which hints that she herself might be a protector like Ai, or that she's endured this dream world multiple times. Not breaking the egg in this case lets the eggs incubate, and the hosts of the dream most likely live out their trauma until someone breaks them out. That, to me, makes the most sense for how Kurumi knows so much, but Minami knows next to nothing. Probably because she hasn't been a host for too long. In that case, how does one become a host? There have been hints in episode 1 already, not necessarily in what Kurumi has told Ai, but in the tense. Most, if not all, information that Kurumi gives to Ai about her life has been in the past. When they finally get reprieve from the knife monsters and enter the cafeteria, Kurumi mentions how she didn't have a best friend. Not that she doesn't have one right now, not that she can obtain one in this current moment, but that she did not have one, as if it's not possible, as if her life is already gone. But okay, that's the first episode. Let's look at the second one. During episode 2, we get a new confident Ai in the dream world. After accidentally breaking open Minami's egg and haphazardly escaping onto the roof, they have a short respite when we learn about Minami. Again, the thing to note isn't necessarily the fact that she's part of the gymnastics club or her timid yet rebellious personality. These details are important, but it's how she says it. It's in the past. The coach was always yelling at me to maintain it. Not that the coach is able to do it now, but that at one point in her life it did happen. It wasn't that she quit the club and moved on, considering how she acts once the coach comes in later, but it's that she physically can't be abused anymore, and she knows it. After defeating the Wonder Killer, Ai and Minami have a short talk, where we get a recurring thematic line. Will you remember me sometimes? Followed by, just like after Kurumi's line of don't forget me, her disappearing in a puff of smoke, implying that she doesn't exist anymore. After this trauma has subsided, she can move on and be elsewhere. Otherwise, why throw that line out there? Why ask and plead for someone to remember them, if not because they won't be able to do anything to be remembered, since they're not alive? Looking at how Kurumi and Minami have talked about their past, it seems to me that they are spirits or souls trapped in the eggs. They retain their memory, which is why they talk in the past tense, and they recognize that they are alive. The show neither confirms nor denies this theory, considering we also get information that Kurumi is a statue somewhere and that her friends need to save her, but she's still dead because Koito is dead and that's why she's a statue. It opens up this idea that someone will break open a Koito egg. That's a whole other theory for another time. In short, the framing of the dialogue from the first episode all the way to now, and probably for the foreseeable episodes, continually gives hints that these are spirits, and sets up a level of consistency in how we characterize these characters when they reminisce, just like how Minami talked to Ai about her time trying to skip practice. It becomes that much more potent when we consider it really is reminiscing, and that they can only remember this time they've lived. The second bit of dialogue subtext I found extremely powerful throughout this episode came during the last scene when Ai and Minami have this short conversation. It's a very tender and somber moment compared to what we had just witnessed, but what makes this scene even more wholesome is what Minami tells Ai about her wishing she could have met her sooner, and about what they could have done as friends. It didn't seem like much, it actually seemed incredibly mundane and normal, chatting over burgers, playing games, a throwaway line. And there's this incredible absence of dialogue that just really sets in the emotions before she disappears. We don't really take note of what she said, just, the fact that she is having this connection. Now, after Ai returns to the real world, we see her making contact with Neru, and this is an important piece of development from Ai. In the first episode, we get a very heartwarming moment in the cafeteria, where Ai and Kurumi talk about having friends, or the lack thereof. One of the key points are about making friends, and the importance of a best friend. That line of dialogue helped to characterize them in the moment, but now in episode 2, Ai is fulfilling that prophecy. She is going out of her way to make a friend. And again, if you blink you'll miss it, because after Ai breaks into Neru's shell, when they're at the hospital roof, Ai repeats what Minami told her. As friends, they would go to a burger place. This isn't a coincidence either, considering the lag in dialogue in Neru's second question, making Ai actually have to think of an answer. She has no friends, and she's only now trying to make friends, so it would be difficult and confusing. The only methods and information she has as to what friends do came from Minami, who talked about being normal girls. And then right after, when Ai is asked if it would be fun, she responds with, "I wonder," cementing that she really has no idea how to navigate making friends, but she's trying. And these people, Kurumi in the first episode, now Minami in the second episode, are helping her develop ideas on how to make friends and have left a huge impression on Ai. Thinking of it like that, Ai will always remember the people she saved, and their memories and lives will live on through Ai, since she's taking their words and experiences seriously and applying it to her own life. I fully expect that as Ai protects and finds more people, she herself will grow alongside them, and that whatever banter happens and whatever information we get through these people, that Ai won't let their words go to waste. Although, even making this has been rough, considering the random strike, it wasn't even a content ID claim, which a lot of my videos have gotten, and even, the Hoseki no Kyuni video, which is, the biggest one, but those videos are viewable, which is important, again, for small channels and stuff like that, because, the first Wonderegg Priority episode analysis was doing pretty well, considerably, and now all of that is out the window because they completely took it down and it's unviewable, which is really, really annoying. But I'm still very passionate about the show and I want to open up conversation, so I'm going to try my best. Hopefully the edits in this episode make it impossible to strike down. At this point, all support would be helpful. Check out the Worlds series on my channel. I'll have the playlist up, and hopefully just this once the overlords of copyright will see no evil.